You are driving down the highway and notice your fuel gauge is acting completely crazy, either stuck on empty right after a fill-up or showing full when you know you have been driving for hours. This is the classic headache of a P0460 code, which points to a fuel level sensor circuit malfunction. This system is pretty straightforward but vital for knowing your range and fuel economy. The FLS sensor is usually hanging out inside your fuel tank, often attached to the fuel pump module. It takes the mechanical movement of a float arm and turns it into an electrical signal that your PCM can understand. The computer expects to see a specific voltage range, and if that signal stays the same for too long or jumps around in a way that is physically impossible, it triggers the light. One really common way people accidentally set this code is by refueling while the engine is running or the ignition is on. The computer sees the fuel level rising rapidly while the car is supposed to be consuming it, and it gets confused. If that is the case, clearing the code might be all you need. However, if it comes back, you are likely looking at an electrical or mechanical failure. Start by checking for any technical service bulletins, especially if you drive a Ford, because sometimes aftermarket remote starts can cause false alarms. The most common real failure point is corrosion at the connector on top of the fuel tank. These plugs are exposed to the elements and can get nasty green crust inside them. Unplug it and look for burnt pins or melted plastic. If the connector looks clean, you will need to grab your DVOM. With the key on and engine off, you should see either 5 volts or 12 volts at the signal wire depending on your specific vehicle. If the voltage is right but the gauge is still wrong, you might have a stuck float arm or a worn-out sensor track inside the tank. In that case, you will probably have to drop the tank or go through the access panel to replace the whole unit. It is a bit of a job, but getting your fuel gauge back is worth the effort to avoid getting stranded on the side of the road.